What's up guys, I'm Dean and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd try something new and review a TV show. Of course I'm going to be reviewing Loki. As of time of recording, the last episode came out yesterday and I've got a lot of thoughts and I want to share them. This is going to be filled with spoilers, so if you haven't seen it and you don't want it spoiled, go now. If you've seen it, stay and we can talk about it together. So I thought I'd give a quick overview of my opinion on this, and then I'd talk about every episode individually, then every character individually, and then just give my final judgment on the show. So let's just start with my opening thoughts. Honestly, I've been a little disappointed by this show. I think in a similar way to WandaVision, it set up a lot of stuff and then didn't deliver on a lot of that stuff. It has really cool visuals. I like the characters, but certain elements of it were definitely disappointing to me. Okay, so episode 1, Glorious Purpose. Obviously, I think the purpose of this episode, the glorious purpose of this episode, was to introduce the TVA and bring Loki up to speed on everything we know about him, because obviously this is the earlier version and he's died since we saw this. So I really liked this episode. I think it did such a great job at introducing Mobius, and it did such a good job of exploring Loki's character and setting up the TVA as well as to be a mysterious organisation. And I understand why everyone fell in love with this show as soon as they saw this episode, because it got great characters, it was quite funny, really strong emotional performances, and also Mobius, who is just amazing. Episode 2, The Variant, was pretty good. I did like this episode. This is the one where they're trying to find the other Loki variant, and at the end they meet Sylvie. I think this episode works quite well. It's just what it is, you know, it's nothing amazing, but I do really like certain elements of it, although it did raise more questions that were never answered. But overall, I really like the second episode. Third episode was Lamentis. This was my least favourite episode, I'm afraid to say. I liked some of the character work they did with both Loki and Sylvie, but it was slow, it was weirdly shot, it didn't look great, and not a lot happened, and it just didn't really grab me, it didn't interest me, because the great character moments were too few and far in between, and they never really even explained Sylvie's backstory, which is where you thought this episode would be, where they'd do that. So overall, not a massive fan of this episode. Episode 4 is the Nexus event, and I really like this episode as well. This is the one where Sylvie and Loki are both arrested by the TVA, and Mobius finds out he's a variant, and Loki dies at the end. They meet the Timekeepers. Mobius dies as well. I think it's a really strong episode, and I think it did a lot of it really did a good job of setting up the 2 final episodes and setting up this mystery about the Timekeepers even better. Episode 5, Journey into Mystery, might just be my favourite episode. I really loved the different Loki variants. I loved just the comedy on this planet and just the bizarreness of it. I think it worked really well and set a really good tone. Classic Loki was amazing. Mobius was great in this episode, and I really loved the Sylvie Loki bonding in this episode too. Yeah, probably my favourite. Now, episode 6 for all time, always. I'm not a big fan of this episode. I think it was pretty weak for a number of reasons. I think my biggest issue with it was way too exposition heavy, because it was setting up Kang and it was setting up the multiverse. It was setting up so much stuff for the future of the MCU, but that doesn't make it a good finale to the series. I think the performance of Immortus, or Kang, or the One Who Remains, whatever you want to call him, was really good. I loved that performance of that character, but there was just too much exposition and too much sitting around and not enough answers. It's weird because there was so much exposition, but I still have so many answers which they've just left unanswered in a very unsatisfying way. I think the setup for series 2 at the very end was done very well, and I'm a bit mixed on the Sylvie-Loki relationship. I'm not sure where I stand on that, but overall I wasn't massively a fan of this finale. Now let's talk about the characters, starting with Loki. Which Loki? Tom Hiddleston, the main guy. I thought he was really good in this show. Tom Hiddleston is an amazing actor, and I think he did an amazing job in this show, performing such a scared and pained and just down Loki. I think he did such a good job of portraying that facet of this character, and I think, yeah, he just really nailed it. Next up is Mobius, my favourite character. He's just lovable. I don't have loads to say on him, just I'm really disappointed he never got a jet ski, and yeah, he's pretty great overall. I really like Sylvie in the show. I thought she was a welcome bonus. I think she worked really well, bouncing off Tom Hiddleston. A complaint I would have is that to make your female character seem really intelligent and powerful, you don't need to make Loki seem less and make him the butt of jokes. But Sylvie I really liked. I'm a bit mixed on what she did in the final episode, killing Immortus or whatever you want to call him. But yeah, pretty solid stuff. I really liked her performance. To be honest, I don't have a lot to say about other characters. Judge Renslayer got on my nerves. Hunter B-15 was fine. I mean, I've got no issues with it. It was pretty good. And classic Loki, absolutely amazing. I really liked The One Who Remains, like I said earlier on. I think that performance was done so well. I really enjoyed that part of the finale. Yeah, but overall, I liked the show. I know I've been a bit negative, but I think it set up such a mysterious and powerful organisation so well, and it created a mystery so well, but then I don't think it did a perfect job at tying all the loose ends. That's my issue with it. I really love the aesthetics, I really love the cinematography, I really love the comedy, and the characters I think are very well written. All of them are, to be fair. Just, it did not do a good job at finishing the show for me. But overall, I think I'd give it 3.5 stars. It was pretty good. And that is all I have to say about Loki, so thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Still feels weird to say. My links are in the description down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.